Hey guys, trust you all are doing fantastic. And today's topic is we will be looking into what is DBFS and how to upload a file on DBFS, which is Databricks File System, and how to read the file once the file is uploaded onto Databricks using PySpark, right? So in the last video, we have looked at how to basically create a compute cluster. Using that compute cluster, we are going to read this particular Databricks file system or file basically that we are going to upload it. We will see everything about it, but before we start, we want to understand what is DBFS, right? Quick understanding on DBFS. It's very important for us to understand what is DBFS. Now, what is this? DBFS is basically Databricks file system, which is I would say a file system on which is managed by Databricks, but it is actually underlying, it is using the storage of your cloud, whatever cloud you're using. So for example, right now we have created a Databricks over Azure cloud, and we are going to use the Azure cloud here to manage the Databricks file system. It's basically abstraction. So can I say it's basically a distributed file system that abstract the storage infrastructure into in Databricks, and it is built on the cloud storage. Yes, for example, right now it is Azure Data Lakes. It can be built on Amazon S3. If it is, for example, it is AWS, then if it is a cloud GCP, then it will be using the storage as a Google Cloud storage, right? So it's basically based on the database, but for now, it's basically going to use our Azure Data Lake, right? Azure Data Lake storage it is going to use. It's just the abstract layer on sitting on the actual Azure data. I would say Azure cloud, right? Now, what is DBFS? It uses basically a Unix like command. Okay, so it basically uses Unix like command. So we can actually if you are familiar with the Unix, it is going to be much easier. We are going to use, for example, listing the file ls, for cp copying the file, or make dir, right? All of these commands we are going to use it here basically in the dbfs. Cool. Now if you remember, or if you are familiar with the Hadoop, so there is something called hdfs. If you are familiar of it, so in the Hadoop cluster we have something called hdfs. It's very similar to that. It's just a file system like a Linux file system, right? Or Hadoop HDFS file system. It's just that it gives you ability to hold the file and store the file, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you how to basically upload a file. I'm going to do upload a products file, which is actually CSV file. I'm going to show you the file and the SDFS, and then once we upload it, we are going to read it using PySpark. Yeah. So let us go here and try to explore this, how to do that. So if I go here new and I get an option that is called add or upload data. So if I click here, yes, the moment I click, I have lot of options, right? I have shown you in the last video that we have lot of options from where we can actually bring the data in. Now I'm just going to upload the file, right? And upload file to a volume. I will just say it here. And it is saying that you can actually browse the location, right? So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a volume. Volume is basically um, the managed volume, which is basically, I would say, the location where you are going to store the data into Unity catalog. So I'm just going to give you volume. I will say uh, vol one, maybe it's fine. I'm just going to give some name, and I also have to create some catalog, right? So I'm just going to create it ws databricks, and here I will go and select. So you have to select the catalog and schema also whenever you are creating a volume, and this is just going to tell you basically in your Databricks where exactly you are going to store it, right? So this you have to give and then just say create. It will quickly create one volume for you. Now once the volume is created, you are here basically, right? Now you can actually just go and upload this, right? So you can just go and upload this, say browse and select file. Cool. What I'm going to do, I have this location which I already have it. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this location and just going to say products file. Yeah, I'm just going to select it here and it should upload it now. So it's going to get uploaded and it's done quite fast, right? Do you see one file uploaded? And this has given me, this is the path actually, the volumes and everything that we have just mentioned, right? And this is going to tell you copy the path. So I'm just going to copy the file path. Why I'm going to copy the file path? Because I'm going to read this when I go to my notebook. I'm going to read this file because this is the place where it is, right? Now, if I just go here, right, if you'll able to see that this particular file is already here. So let's go there and cool, right? So it's actually going to show you, or you can also go to catalog, right? It's automatically taking me to the catalog, by the way. So here in the catalog, if you look at, or let me, I think it's coming up probably. Yeah, it's coming up, right? You see, so we have this particular location, right? And within this location, you see that we have a default here, right? Within the defaults vol1, and then within vol1, we have this particular file here. Let me just bring up. Yeah, this is the file, right? You see, if you are not very sure what is the location of this file, right, then you can also go to catalog and just go here and copy the path of it, the copy path basically, right? Now I know that this particular file is here and I'm just going to go to my recent and I'm just going to launch my notebook and I'm going to read this file. Cool, right? This is what I'm going to do. So the file is stored into DBFS. Now I have the path of that DBFS, right? And I'm simply going to read that particular file. Let us see how easily we can do that. And let us go here. Everything is fine. Let me just go here, guys. Yes. So I'll go to the next shell, right? Because this is the shell. We should not be writing everything in one shell. So we have to go to the next shell and I'm just going to say shift enter, then it will take me to the next shell here, right? Now guys, one more thing you can do here. I'm going to write something here, okay? I'm going to say read the file, read the file, okay, into a data frame. What is data frame? I'll talk about it. If you know data frame, that's well and good. Otherwise I'm going to talk. It's just a variable for now. Just assume that it's a variable that I'm going to use it. Now instead of Python, I'm just going to say markdown here. Cool. If I say markdown and hit enter, it's going to give me the header. Do you see how nicely it is looking like header? Now I can see that within this header I have a lot of code that I'm going to write it here. Now we have something called Spark here, which is automatically coming here, right? Do you see Spark, which is basically the PySpark, I would say the interface that you can use it here because it's Python, so it's basically PySpark. Now if I say dot read, right, it's read dot CSV and cool, right? You can see read dot CSV and then we can actually give the path of it. So let's put the entire path. This is the complete path, right? This is the volume path. That's where I have my file here, right? This is what we created. So this entire path you have to give. The moment I just hit shift enter, it's going to read this file and we will see that what is there in this particular file, right? So this is going to return this read.csv is going to return me a data frame, right? Let us see what is this data frame. It's going to give you the tabular data in the tabular format, which you can see it right now. But let us see, once this completes the execution, it is going to give you the output, right? So it's actually running it right now. 1 second. So 1 second. Sorry. What I have to do is I will just store into a data frame, let's say df, right? It's just a variable named data frame. And if I go to the next one, I'm just going to say uh, df dot show, just to show what is the data inside that data frame, because that data frame is going to contain the data that is there in my that CSV file, right? Do you see? This is the CSV file, and if I can just show you what is this products, right? So I'm just going to open it here in my Windows machine and let us see. Yeah, cool. Just a second. Mm-hmm. Just just going to Okay, it's taking, okay, I think it's fine. I just click here, but allow a moment. All right, let's open this. Yeah, I'm opening the same file in Windows, right? This is my CSV file, the product file that I was able to read it using the PySpark, but let me just show you in Windows as well, right? Because the same file I have uploaded into DBFS, and from DBFS I'm actually accessing it, isn't it? So now you see that, yeah, product number 1, 2, all right, we have quite a good number of products. Okay, so we have 100 products total, and these are the columns that we have. Yeah, so we will be using some more stuff later, but for now, let's just close this. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but let's go to Databricks again, right? Now, one thing that I can see is there is some problem here. And what is the problem, guys? Do you see this file? I'm able to read it, not a problem, right? We are able to read at least 20, right? And we can, it will just show you at one go 20, right? Maybe I can actually show you something better way to do this, right? So if I just go here, 1 second. 1 second. So what did I say? df.show, which means it was just showing you the data frame, right? But can I say a better function that is called display function, and I will pass the data frame here. Okay, data frame is, know the data frame is containing that 100 rows basically from the products, right? Now it looks much better actually, and it show you all the data 101. So you see everything it is going to show you. But if I just show you like all of those, it's showing it, right? You can just come down and see that. But one more thing, you can see that it's looking into much tabular format. The previous one is not looking so clear, right? Do you see it's looking something in different format like pipe and all, but here it looks like in a proper tabular format. Yes or no? Now one challenge is there that we are not able to see the header. Header is coming as C1, C2, C3, this column 1, column 2, column 3, something like this. We want actually the first row as a header basically. So what I have to do, I have to basically go and copy this. Let's read this file and give that, tell that my header is uh, true, right? So we have to say here, let's go here, and I will say here header, so that it can read the header as a first line, right? And then I'll say true. Now let's run it, and if I say, I will say again display, and then see what happens. So I'll say display df again. Let's see what happens. This time hopefully it should be able to give me the proper header. Do you see? Now the header is coming properly. So you have to say header equals true. Now one more thing I'm going to show you, that what is the data type of each of these columns or each of this value, right? So I can also I can run it here itself, not a problem, right? So I can actually say df dot print schema. Cool. Let me just show you print schema, and then what it shows you, it just shows that product ID is basically string type, which is right because P0 it's basically string. Product name is also a string, category is also a string, but it's very strange because the last, this one, which is basically the price and stock quantity, they are also coming as a string, right? So this is not something that I'm expecting, because I'm expecting Databricks to give me the proper data type, right? Everything cannot be string, right? Especially this one should be integer and this should be float, right? And for that, guys, I have to basically, while reading, I have to do one, I have to pass one more setup, which is basically just a second. I have to put something. Do you see the, I'm already getting the answer here. The infer schema equal to true, which means you go and infer the schema, or you just uh, telling, you're just telling the Databricks to go, I mean saying the PySpark to basically get the infer the schema based on the data. Do not give me by default string everything, but go and read the data and tell me what is the data type basically. This is what we have to say, the true we have to say, right? Now if I run it again, and then you will be able to see once it runs, let me just run this as well. This time it is going to give you something nice. Do you see string, 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 and price is double and stock quantity is integer. Now this time it's correct, right? So this is what actually you have to do. And the next one I'm going to just show you one more thing here. Um, or probably in the next class I will show you, because this file is basically the comma separated file. Yes, so that's the reason by default I don't need to say separator. But if assume that this file is different, having different separator, for example pipe separator, or different delimiter altogether, right, space separator, or maybe tab separator, etc. So we have to make sure we also pass the separator as part of it. So where we can do that, let me just do this here, though it is not applicable right now. By default it's basically comma separated only, but I have to say sep here, and then this is what we have to say. So sep and comma, this will work. But let's say different separator is there, like the field are separated by different delimiter, then we have to use this separator. If it is delimiter is like a pipe, then you can use something like this. For now it does not matter, it is basically the same, but let me run it so that I am giving very explicitly this is comma separated file, right? Now if I run, it will give you no, it will not have any difference, right? Now if I just show you the data, it's looking quite nice, isn't it? So this is how basically you can read a file, okay, using the PySpark. And this is all the PySpark which is inbuilt into Databricks, and we will see some amazing stuff going forward, what are the things you can do in PySpark. And the whole purpose is basically to learn the PySpark here, so that you are very comfortable with the PySpark. And we will be ultimately, once you are comfortable with Databricks and PySpark, we are going to do some um, test cases as well, isn't it? So all of those things we will be doing it later. But for now, if you're liking these videos, please go and subscribe this channel if you're first time here, and also do encourage me and put your comments that you need more such video in the series, right? And then I will be bringing up some more video, and that's basically the best way to interact with me, right? Make sure I will respond to all your chats and all your comments there. I will at least like all your comments. You know that I'm actually actively responding to you as well. So let's make it a beautiful learning. And as I said, this is just learn everything first, and then we will be doing the test automation, how we can actually do the automation testing on Databricks as well, right? So I'll see you in the next video. Until we meet next time, happy learning. God bless you. Bye. Take care.